The story sets in a blood-red sky marked as the destruction of not just a burning city, but the entire world. A lone guy knelt amid the chaos, ripping a spear embedded in a fallen man's chest. With hatred and despair, he questioned why the man had annihilated everything. On his knees, the guy clutched the spear, desperate for answers. A mountain of corpses surrounded him, and hungry rats scurried amidst the carnage. Unforgiving, even in death, the guy couldn't reconcile with the destruction. In the midst of despair, a straight ray of starlight broke through the darkness, heralding the arrival of a woman in a luminous starlight dress with silver hair. She is Vega, the goddess of harps. She praised his accomplishment in slaying the heavenly demon. However, the guy, having lost everything, couldn't fathom it. It all began a decade ago when the ominous gates connecting their world with the outside appeared in the sky. From these gates emerged unknown monsters, turning the world into a living nightmare. Amid the chaos, hope surfaced in the form of transcendent beings or constellations who granted people stigmas imbued with superhuman abilities, creating a new breed known as metahumans. These metahumans became humanity's hope against the monster onslaught. However, a figure named Quan Ojin, the heavenly demon, emerged wielding not only metahuman powers but also the ability to absorb constellations, rapidly growing stronger. Thousands of awakened ones united to confront this menace, even combining the forces of constellations that had once competed against each other. Despite their efforts, the monster proved unbeatable, leaving a trail of destruction and death. In the aftermath, the earth met its demise, and only Li Xinhyuk, now kneeling before the goddess Vega. Vega revealed that the heavenly demon had eventually perished. Turning to Li Xinhyuk, she inquired if he had slain the monster. Extending her hands, mechanical gears emitting a golden glow appeared, signifying the power of the polar star constellation. Vega informed Li Xinhyuk that as the savior who killed the heavenly demon, he could make a wish through the star pledge. Understanding the significance, Li Xinhyuk rose with determination and requested to return to the past. In response, Vega expressed surprise, questioning his decision to regress. Despite her warning about the potential horrors of the past and the uncertain future of the new world, Li Xinhyuk stood firm, determined to change everything. With unwavering determination, Li Xinhyuk affirmed his knowledge of being a regressor, the one who defied the world's fate and rewrite history. The goddess Vega, observing the fire in his eyes, silently contemplated his request. Eventually, she agreed to send him back to the past as per the oath of the stars. However, Li Xinhyuk proposed a deal. He asked for the stigma of the Vega star. The goddess was taken aback, cautioning him that even a heavenly demon couldn't resist her power, and the odds of survival were slim. Undeterred, Li Xinhyuk insisted that without this, going back in time would be pointless. Vega, aware of the risks, agreed to bestow the stigma of the Vega star upon him. She assured him that she would personally look for him when he went back in time. Li Xinhyuk, surprised, questioned if she would lose her memories. Vega confirmed it but explained that with her stigma, she could recognize him as a regressor. She even offered to accept him as her apprentice if he could withstand the power of her stigma. Li Xinhyuk, taken aback, never imagined becoming the guardian of the Vega star. After preparations, he turned to the fallen heavenly demon, vowing to remember his face and angrily declaring his intent to take everything back. As the goddess fulfilled her vow with a bright golden light, the gears glowed brighter. Vega, floating in the air, addressed Li Xinhyuk as the celestial star, cautioning him to be careful. The stage was set for his journey back in time. As he gazed at the appearing gears in the sky, Li Xinhyuk reflected on the losses and regrets he'd endured, vowing to change his fate this time. In the next moment, the golden sphere emitted an even brighter light, plunging him into darkness, and he lost consciousness. When he awoke, he felt a sense of weightlessness, surrounded by system windows announcing the acquisition of the Vega star stigma. However, a red system warning appeared, indicating that the powerful stigma was causing his body to deteriorate. Immersed in memories, he found himself in a moment where his younger brother, Li Wuhyuk, should have become one of the 12 zodiacs but met an untimely demise. Confronting the heavenly demon, Li Xinhyuk demanded answers, unaware that the demon blamed him for the tragedy. Bewildered, he recognized a familiar face but couldn't place it. Amid lightning and unstable energy, the system warned of his body's deterioration. Yet a voice interrupted, expressing surprise and concern for Li Xinhyuk's well-being. He turned to see a stranger, questioning if he was okay. Recognizing the guy before him as the heavenly demon, Li Xinhyuk froze in shock, wondering why he had suddenly appeared. The moment he coughed up blood, the system notified him of worsening conditions, but he resisted, determined to survive against the odds. Despite his efforts, reality proved harsh, and the system displayed the message, "Awakened Li Xinhyuk has passed away." The nearby guy, fearing Li Xinhyuk's demise, fell to his knees, expressing anger and a desire to kill monsters before dying. Panicking, the guy, realizing he wasn't awakened, attempted to revive Li Xinhyuk. Irritated at the absence of a stigma on the fallen guy, he discovered a glowing blue light mark on his chest. The system notified him of the beginning of Black Heaven's first awakening, absorbing Vega's stigma. Surprised, the guy absorbed the stigma, experiencing unbearable pain and witnessing blue modelings around him. Cursing his fate, he screamed in agony, only to be comforted by the system adjusting the power of the stigma based on Black Heaven's development. Exhausted, he sat on the ground, relieved that the ordeal was over. Questioning the system's appearance, he asked if only the awakened could see them. Examining the new mark on his chest, he pondered what transpired in those 5 minutes. Interrupted by a golden light, a girl appeared and acknowledged feeling the energy of her stigma. Turning to the surprised boy, she declared him a unique regressor, a star against fate, and the savior of a world at its end. She then solemnly announced to him, a star that goes against fate, a creature that goes against destiny, the only savior of a world that has come to an end. Memories surfaced of advice given to an 8-year-old Kwon Ojin navigating the shadows of a challenging orphanhood. An old man confronted him seeking confirmation, and in response, Ojin cautiously praised the orphanage, aware of the delicate balance required for survival. As tension heightened, a girl named the man intervened, displaying an unexpected courage by swiftly kicking the old man in defense of own. In the midst of the chaos, Ojin found solace in the support of his friends San, a 10-year-old, and Haeyun, a steadfast ally. When a couple visited, Ojin resorted to embellishments, painting a false picture of the orphanage director's kindness and the abundance of hearty meals. It was a desperate attempt to shield the grim reality of the harsh orphanage from those who could potentially rescue him from that bleak existence. Intrigued by the possibility, he questioned if that moment marked the beginning. Subsequently, Earth's gates opened, unleashing unfamiliar monsters. Amid the apocalyptic chaos, constellations wielding the power of star signs emerged, accompanied by the appearance of metahumans bearing the coveted constellation Stigmata. Mastering the art of deception, he navigated through this turbulent world, exploiting unsuspecting metahumans for survival. Commending the man for a job well done, they exchanged pleasantries, and an invitation to the next gate was extended, met with a confident "of course." Like a shrewd opportunist, he deceived metahumans, formed parties, feigned assistance, and cunningly secured substantial rewards before making a swift getaway. On a routine day, Ojin targeted a gullible individual, Lee Shin-hyuk, who was shocked to learn he was Aquarius' disciple, questioned the alignment with one of the 12 astrological signs. Nonchalantly, Ojin assured Lee Shin-hyuk that despite being aligned with a sign, he remained a mere one star. Shin-hyuk, disciple of Pixis, downplayed his significance. Despite Shin-hyuk's skepticism, a sly smile crept across his face, aware that he had planted the seed of doubt. Contemplating his next move, he pondered the prey he had chosen. He initiated a faithful introduction to Lee, suggesting that their meeting was destined. Proposing the creation of a party, Lee Shin-hyuk, while happy to join. Candidly, Ojin admitted to not being adept at using his stigma despite awakening over a year ago, lingering at a modest one-star status. Understanding the hierarchical structure of stars from 1 to 12, he emphasized the importance of not just the power of a metahuman's stigma and constellation, but also their ability to wield the stigma effectively. Despite the embarrassment, Lee Shin-hyuk marveled at the intricate symbol, unaware of its dubious origins. Entering a low-ranking gate, Ojin cautioned Lee Shin-hyuk about its competitiveness. Calling upon the star sign Aquarius, a light emanated from his chest, a concealed mini-light. Ojin deceived him by sprinkling glass powder mixed with fluorescent paint. Lee Shin-hyuk, feeling the power of Aquarius' stigma, expressed warmth and a cellular awakening. While surprised by Lee Shin-hyuk swallowing the glass powder, he maintained a composed smile as Lee Shin-hyuk thanked him for the buff, gearing up to showcase his own skills. As Lee Shin-hyuk attacked the monster with newfound agility, Ojin marveled at Lee Shin-hyuk's unexpected enlightenment. Impressed with Lee Shin-hyuk's prowess, Ojin declared their mission to recover mirror crystals, anticipating a substantial reward given Lee Shin-hyuk's skills surpassing those of other metahumans encountered. Ojin envisioned a minimum earnings of 300,000 won at their current pace. Ojin seized the mirror crystals, realizing their potential to infuse stigma power. Initially elated, he soon sensed an unsettling quietness in the surroundings. Shin's fearful inquiry about the abundance of Anthorn heightened his unease. An Anthorn glared at them in anger, prompting Shin-hyuk to flee, gesturing for him to follow. Despite his years in low-ranking gates, the abnormal number of Anthorn puzzled him. They sprinted with the relentless Anthorn in pursuit. Shin warned about their speed, expressing concern about the imminent catch-up. As Ojin wondered why Shin-hyuk stared at him, suddenly Shin-hyuk's feet neared his face, delivering a painful kick. Furiously, he berated Shin-hyuk and heard Anthorn approaching as Shin-hyuk abandoned him. Contemplating his potential demise, Ojin noticed the stigma on Shin-hyuk's chest, questioning its identity. As something unexpected occurred, He considered the possibility of regressing but dismissed it, focusing on immediate survival. Realizing Vega's earlier mention of his unique stigma, he identified the unknown stigma on his left chest as Shinhyuk's, absorbing it through the power of the Black Heavens. The revelation hit him. Shinhyuk was a regressor, and the phenomenon of blue-colored lightning marked his absorption. The Black Heavens activated, and Lee Shinhyuk's stigma became his own. Interrupted by Vega's inquiries about being a regressor and the unheavenly star, he acknowledged it, though he remained ignorant about the Black Heavens, unheavenly stars, and the goddess before him. In a bid to survive, he claimed regressor status, realizing the necessity, even if it meant deceiving a deity. Vega, in silence, affirmed his identity as the unheavenly star. Wondering if Vega wanted him to prove his power, she laughingly advised him not to feel pressured and just fight, frustrating him. Faced with a swarm of Anthorn growling at him, he felt power seeping from him, his body light as a feather. Despite being a lowly one-star, he wielded the body of a metahuman. As the Anthorn attacked, he effortlessly swung his weapon, astonishing Vega. Confused, he looked at his hand and saw Anthorn launching behind him. Jumping back, he easily slashed them, wondering why fighting Anthorn felt so easy. The system popped up, indicating he acquired Peace Spear Arts Level 4, leaving him puzzled about the sudden knowledge of peace skill. Remembering a moment of exhaustion and Shin saying he couldn't continue or catch up with Wu if he stopped, he realized it was someone's memory, perhaps Lee Shin Hak's. Noticing a scar in the memory he hadn't seen before, he wondered if it was a memory from the future. Alongside Shinhyuk's memories, peace skills flowed in, questioning if a one-star metahuman could be that strong. Vega told him to stop confusing him. She asked if he was putting on a show and questioned why he wasn't using stigma, making him realize he had all this power without using it. Vega understood it was challenging for a regressor like him to use his new stigma, comparing it to a child taking its first steps. Seizing the opportunity, he agreed, comparing himself to a newborn baby. Vega mentioned helping him with his first steps, and the system revealed that she blessed him with the blessing of a star, temporarily boosting the proficiency of Lyra's stigma. As he pondered having heard Vega's name before, a powerful lightning bolt struck him, causing him to shout in pain. Trying to endure the pain, he requested Vega to give him a proper warning before such actions. Stabbing his weapon into the ground, he cried out in pain, and the system indicated that Blue Thunder Level 1 had been activated. Underground thunder destroyed the surrounding ground, shocking him with the realization that a mere one-star metahuman couldn't perform such a feat. He speculated that the metahuman must have reached 2 or 3 stars to imitate it, leaving him curious about Lyra's stigma. Recalling the notification mentioning Vega, he called her the Weaving Woman Star, surprising her with confusion, making him wonder if she was truly the real Vega. Aware of the hierarchy among constellations, he realized Vega, one of the highest-ranking constellations, was right beside him. Despite the vast difference in rank, he continued the scam. She questioned what was wrong, but he remained silent, debating whether to confess that he wasn't a regressor and lied out of fear. Deciding against it, he feared retribution from a god if he ridiculed her. With Vega looking confused, he let go of his weapon, determined to end what he started. Approaching her, he claimed to miss her, leaving her puzzled. Softly grabbing her hand, he introduced himself as Kwon Owen and cried, expressing relief at seeing her again. Confused, Vega asked what he was doing and questioned their future relationship. Attempting to deceive Vega, he asked if she currently had no memories of him. Apologizing and claiming it was nothing, she insisted he reveal their relationship. He promised to tell her in the future, leaving her puzzled. Vega mentioned the eventual annihilation of constellations, and he questioned what she meant by eventually. She explained that all constellations, including her, would likely be devoured by the darkness of the Black Heavens as destiny dictated. Acting like he knew the situation, he asked if she referred to the Black Heavens, and she affirmed it was the master of the Black Heavens. Awkwardly laughing, he wondered if she was speaking about the power he possessed, concerned he might destroy the world. Pledging not to be devoured by the Black Heavens, he promised to protect her and urged her to take that bet. In his mind, Vega called him Metahuman Kwonojin, the unheavenly star defying fate, and appointed him as an apostle. The system showed him absorbing the mana from the stigma, fulfilling conditions for the second blooming of the Black Heavens. Shocked at becoming Vega's apostle, he knew there was no going back. Vega noticed a child behind him, and he explained the person was a wicked individual from the future. Vega acknowledged it as the action of a regressor, and he explained it was possible only for a regressor. As she was about to impart one last piece of advice, a light struck her, causing pain. Vega explained that blessing him violated the commandments, and she had to leave due to constraints. She instructed him to come to the sanctuary in a week for further conversation. After she left, he collapsed, overwhelmed by the events. Despite the chaos, he found solace in obtaining the stigma of one of the North Star constellations. Looking at Shinhyuk, he credited him for the U-turn his life took and called him Mr. Regressor.